Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about Mark Hamill and his TDS and how sad it actually is. We talked about how he was on Blue Sky, like he went to Blue Sky along with everybody else that was, suffering from TDS, right? And within a couple months of being there, he actually got dogpiled. He was going to quit and then go back to, or at least step away from Blue Sky, go back to X. The reason he got dogpiled was he was in the King of Kings.
Yes.
King of Kings movie. Yeah. And they didn't think he should be doing that because it's a Christian movie and how dare he have anything to do with Christians? Isn't he one of the good guys? I'm like, what?
Yeah, I know, right?
Hey, if it makes you feel like better, he played the villain in the movie. So there's that. He was persecuted.
Hey, and guess what? Jesus was Jewish.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, so they were attacking him for doing that, right? Because that's the audience he's pandered to over the last couple of years. His entire personality, like Mark Hamill used to be a pretty reasonable guy. Like you would see him at conventions, and obviously he's always been left wing. He's most people in California are, but he still loved the fans, and now he just comes across as a raving lunatic.
Yeah, I know.
Sad.
And then he goes to these conventions, these prices are ridiculous. But besides that, he sits there basically and makes jabs about people who don't vote the same way as him in the panels. And you want your fans to feel like welcome and give you their money, and you want to talk to you, and then you make comments and behave in such a way that you're alienating like half your fan base. And I talked about this before. Just these celebrities or people that you look up to have become so politically pickled that anything that you have felt towards them in the positive, even if you're politically lean the same way, it gets to the place where you just want to distance yourself as much as possible because you're tired of hearing it.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, we had another video talking about Star Wars today with the Mandalorian, and Mark Hamill, honestly, his attitude and just the constant politics is part of the reason why I don't even want to watch the original trilogy anymore. I'm gonna be honest, because I love Star Wars for years, but I watch it and I'm just like, one, I know where the story goes now, to The Last Jedi, and I'm like, whatever. And two, there's Mark Hamill. He just won't shut up on. I know you have to separate the art from the artist. I get that, but it's hard because every time you hear about Mark Hamill, it's Mark Hamill roasted Trump. Mark Hamill, did you see the latest zinger? I'm like, Mark Hamill, his entire personality now is he's the anti-Trump guy on social media, which is sad. Like you were the Joker, you were Luke Skywalker. Right? I mean, you're incredibly talented. He's an incredibly talented voice actor now. And this is what you're going to be remembered for is just yes. And he spent the last 10 years of his life, 15 years of his life attacking Donald Trump day in, day out, every day.
I know. That's all he talks about. It's ridiculous.
That's all he talks about. And then he'll squeeze a little bit in there talking about movies. So we'll go out to this Blue Sky. We'll talk about this. We do have a sponsor for this video. So thank you very much to Black Forest Supplements. Joe Rogan's known for his MMA fighting, being in extremely good shape, and doing quite well health-wise at the tender age of, 56, 57. If you remember, he bounced back from COVID in 2 or 3 days, so he takes care of himself. One of the supplements he's mentioned and talked about is NMN. Now, rather than me try to explain it to you, I'm going to let the doctor that discovered it explain it, and then I'll tell you some of the other effects he doesn't mention in this clip.
I also take supplements, and in fact, most of my colleagues are in the field of aging, or anti-aging, as people call it. So I take NMN every morning.
What is NMN?
Good question. So let me take a quick step back.
Sure.
So about 20 years ago, Lenny Guarente and a team of us at MIT discovered a set of genes that controls aging. And what they do is they protect all organisms on the planet, plants, bacteria, humans, from deterioration and disease. They're like the Pentagon. They sense when we're hungry, sense when we're exercising, and they send out the troops to defend us. And so we think that these genes are responsible for the effects of dieting and exercise, which is great. What that means is we can now mimic that with molecules.
I feel like I should make a shopping list.
So get a pen.
So with NMN, you get improved energy, weight management, endurance, and strength. It's got anti-aging properties. Some people say it improves their skin. There are a lot of videos on YouTube where people are talking about, taking this for years. They talk about their blood tests. They talk about the studies that have been done. It seems like everybody's taking it these days, and they feel better. They feel stronger. They have more energy. And one of these things, as a guy especially, you know how it is. You need to be strong. You need to be mentally aware. You need to be healthy. You need to take care of yourself because nobody else is going to. Nobody is coming to save you. So go check out Black Forest Supplements, NMN. Again, here is the supplement. And the other one you're going to hear a lot mentioned as well is something called resveratrol. Resveratrol. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Those two go hand in hand. And of course, Black Forest has both, but NMM is going to be the one to kick off it's called NAD+. You take this, your body starts producing NAD+, which starts firing up all those abilities that you haven't used since you were 16 or 18 years old. What abilities are we speaking of? And you don't have those anymore because you probably age. You probably got a pot belly, creaky knuckles, you got the wrinkles. This works toward undoing all that, so go check it out. Again, this is Black Forest Supplements, our sponsor for today. I'd appreciate it if you do. The links are in the description. That is blackforestsupplements.com/clownfish, blackforestsupplements.com/clownfish, 40% off store-wide for 48 hours only, so check it out. Thank you so much. Let's get back into the video. All right, guys. So I got to give a hat tip to Vinny, who sent this over from Bleeding Fool. And they're just talking about, he's right back at it again. Like he was laying low for a while. And now he's just like, he cannot help himself.
Look, you're allowed to have your opinion.
You're allowed to.
He's allowed to, he can have different political opinion than other people. That's completely fine. The problem is like, when we say political pickling, he is the poster child for being politically pickled. It's all you do, and then some of these comics people too, all you do is talk politics. And it reminds me, kind of what we talked about before about the one convention, I'm not going to name names, that the person was completely fine with taking your money, but then said anybody who voted for Trump, he considers them a Nazi, but give me your money. There was a person doing a crowdfunder, and they were like, well, I don't want you to follow me or be my friend if you voted for Trump, but I want you to back my Kickstarter.
Yeah,
and
right.
I was like, wait a minute, you hate them. They can't be your friend, but you want their money. And that's kind of what Mark Hamill is. He wants to go to these conventions and he wants people to come and pay him for his autograph and stuff, but he actively hates some of you. And he just constantly cannot separate himself from his political opinion, which he's allowed to have. But when it's your whole life, you need to maybe take a step back and be like, maybe I need to chill the fuck out.
Yeah, he's become old man Luke in real life, and it's just
he literally has become the character he was mad about.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, Luke wouldn't be that way. Luke was a hero. Luke would have tried. Luke wouldn't have given up, and he's just like throwing his hands up in the air and being like, oh my god, the world's burning because Trump. But now he's all caps, man. He's all caps. President Dementia.
He's putting it in all caps.
Yeah, this is coming from
President Dementia. What do you say, President what?
President Dementia, Commander in Chief, Fatty Shack.
Wait, Dementia. Wait, wasn't that Biden?
That was Biden. Ayatollah Complainy, Tannibal Lecter, Scammy Davis Jr., Rich Little Hands, Hippopotos are fondling farter. Oh my God. It just goes on and on and on and on.
Patting himself on the back about how clever he is. Oh, you're such a genius, Mark. Good, go you, Mark. Everybody loves you, Mark.
And he apologized to Canada.
Well, you can go live there.
You can go live in Canada. You might be living in America in like a year or two anyway, again. 51st state or whatever.
No, they're not going to make Canada.
No, they're not.
That was always, I was like, I'm sorry, but that was dumb. Anyway, this is like,
look, I guess this is what I'm trying to say here, because, you try to separate the art from the artist. And I get people have opinions. And I get people have strong political opinions. Like, this has been going on forever. Like, here's a weird thing. Like, Sinead O'Connor goes on Saturday Night Live and rips up a picture of the Pope. But you know what? I don't really think about that every time I hear her music, because it was kind of, she got a little weird toward the end, but it was kind of a one-off thing. Mark Hamill's entire personality, personality is politics. George Takei too. It's the same way.
All these celebrities and even like some of the comic people that we used to know, they are just, when I say politically pickled, that's what I'm talking about. They have just become nothing but old grumpy people screaming about politics 24/7 and not even doing their work. They're no longer even likable, because even if you agree with them politically, they're just so ridiculous that it's even driving away people that agree with them on some level.
Yeah, so here we go. The taco thing. This takes the taco.
What is the taco thing?
I don't know. This is how much I pay attention to it. Like
attention, honestly.
I don't give a shit.
I don't do politics 24/7.
I had to ask and find out what the hell was going on today on Twitter. I was like, did Trump and Elon break up? I mean, tell me goss, people. Did they break up? Because apparently Elon, well, he was going to leave Doge after a couple months, but apparently I heard there was a falling out. I don't know. I don't give a shit. That's how much I give a shit. I don't really give a shit, right? And I can be like, hey, this is what I believe politically or whatever. But I would say the same, like even with the comics and the games and the stuff that we make, right? I'd be like, look, my opinions are my opinions. They don't represent the company. I'm not going to sit here all day and spout off about my opinions because you don't give a shit. I want you to buy my stuff, right? Buy my stuff. I don't care.
With comics and people like Mark Hamill, Pedro Pascal and stuff now. Back in the day, they didn't have social media where they could just scream about everything they believed 24/7. And now they do, and they're so addicted to it. That's why he came back to X. They're so addicted to that, that dopamine hit every time someone gives them a like or a high five, or that moment of owning Trump that he cannot stop.
Well, I think what's going on here, I mean, this is my opinion. I think because Star Wars is in such a decimated state right now that like this is what he's got going for him, right? I mean, it's basically like, okay, well, if nobody gives a shit about Luke Skywalker anymore, I guess I'm going to be that guy.
He did Skeletor, and he's doing voice acting, or he's still doing stuff. But even the King of Kings movie, or what was it was called, wasn't it?
I think it was, yeah.
He was trying to promote it because he was in it, and then they just all like start. Is this literally his feed? Pictures of like, it's like he like
yes.
He has like a hate boner. It's like it's bordering on I don't know, like it's
he
stalker.
wants to date him. Does he want to date him? Does he want to smooch? Does he want his little hands all over him? I mean, what?
When you're this obsessed with somebody, it's concerning. If someone was this obsessed with him, he'd be like calling the cops.
There are some people on YouTube that are obsessed with other people on YouTube that talk an awful lot about other people on YouTube, and it's kind of weird. And that weirds me out. And this weirds. I'm like, you're Mark Hamill, you're Luke Skywalker, you were the Joker, you were Skips, right? You like all you gotta do is just be that. I get you're allowed to say what you want to say. I'm not telling you can't hate
just
on Trump.
Walk it back,
dude. Just nobody, like somebody that's following you because they love these things that you made, these things that these pieces of pop culture that you contributed heavily to, right? They have a lot of respect for you in that regard. Maybe they're following you because they want to hear about that stuff and not politics 24/7. It needs to be reversed. It needs to be, for every Trump post, there should be like 5 or 6 posts about pop culture stuff, because that's probably why people are following you. But I think he also knows that's not really why people are following him now, because he gets more traction off of this stuff.
I don't know. I don't pay attention usually. I just know he's off the deep end.
Yeah,
and him and Zegler and Pascal and a bunch of comics people and Mark Waid and all. And I don't even look what they say anymore, because
like this is fun.
It's insane.
A dog, that's cool.
Yeah, okay. And more dogs, less
this. This is fun. This is fun. Yeah, this is fun. He's talking about the movies. Okay, that's cool. Okay, now we're back to Trump. Okay, so we got one Trump, another Ukraine. Okay, they were promoting the movie. I think he's contractually obligated. There's dunking on RFK. More Trump. More Trump. Oh, that's okay. Trump is the Death Star. Okay.
Wow.
Hey, Stevie Wonder. I like Stevie Wonder. That's cool. Okay, more Trump. All right.
How many times a day is he tweeting?
I don't know. I'm Make America Normal Again. America, here's the thing. He's talking about Make America Normal Again. The thing is, America's not going to be. We are so polarized right now. What we need, and I am not telling you have to agree with everything that's going on in the Oval Office, right? Either way. I'm not telling you that. You are allowed to have your political opinions, but what people want from entertainers is escape. They want escape. Like the best thing you could do, I think, to try to make people normal again is don't contribute to polarizing them.
That's just it. I was thinking about that earlier today too, not just in this regard, but how polarized everything is. And I keep trying to tell my kids, back in the day, not that long ago, people would get elected into
10
office.
years ago.
Yeah, people would get elected into office, and especially if it was, the Senate and stuff like that. And they would actually work together. I mean, they might not agree with everything, but they try to work together for the people because they elected them to be there. And now you got a bunch of people in there that they don't do anything to work towards what people want, because if it came from Donald Trump or it came from the other side, they automatically vote against it, even if it's a good idea, because I can't vote for that person. And they're so busy with that bullshit that nothing's getting done. People get hurt over it, and and they just keep getting voted back in, and everything gets more and more divisive. And then you have the media causing it and Hollywood causing it. And if you want America to go back to being normal again, stop your bullshit. It's not hard.
Just
Stop
act
tweeting
normal.
this shit. Go put uplifting, positive messages that you can be seen by all of your fans. And try to make the world a better place. Try to mend, the rift instead of trying to, keep making it wider and wider and wider. And I'm not talking about just Trump. I'm just saying in general.
There it is. This is what Mark Hamill said on this. People complaining about my anti-Trump tweets need to understand I love my country, and I feel it's my duty to oppose this demented sociopath with every fiber of my being. But the collateral damage is... And I'm not telling anybody they have to shut up about,
I'm sorry, if you're Mark Hamill, you need to shut up. I'm gonna say it.
If you're Luke
Mark
Skywalker,
Hamill, if you're a Pedro Pascal, you need to fucking shut up.
Or at least slow down a little bit, right?
Right. I mean, stop. You're driving, or even people who agree with you, you're starting to drive them away too.
It gets annoying.
Just stop.
Even people that I might agree with politically, if that's literally all they talk about and that is their personality,
that's what I'm saying. I will stop following them.
I'm like, okay. And I've done that. I've done that with people. I've got pretty strong libertarian leanings, right? But when everything becomes like a conspiracy theory or everything becomes a whatever, after a while it's just like, God, don't you have a life outside of this stuff?
I just said, even people I agree with, if they're constantly just posting politics stuff, I just stop following, because I don't want to hear it. Can we just talk about other things, please? And dude, chill the fuck out. It's not your duty, your personal duty. I mean, okay, but I guess if you want to do it, go ahead. But then don't expect people to come pay you your ridiculous amount of money you want paid at cons.
If you're calling them Nazis or Nazi supporters, because what I'm saying,
you better not take anybody's money if they didn't vote the way you wanted them to vote, because then you're taking their money. How dare you?
Actually, the better way, you were in the Christian movie, the better way to reach people if you're trying to convince them of your position is not to attack them right out the gate. It's to try to get them to understand your point of view. And that's the problem. A lot of these people, and it's on both sides of the aisle, but it really is bad on the left. It's just I'm going to scream at you, and that's not going to change anybody's mind. It's actually going to make them go harder in the paint and be like, yeah, you're crazy because I didn't do anything wrong, and you're blocking me, blacklisting me, screaming at me, calling my grandma a Nazi and all this other crap. I'm not even going to listen to you.
Well, that's just these activist types. You see them on the street, and then someone's standing there, and they just go up and just start screaming at them in their face. Yes, that's totally going to make them listen to your side and change their mind. It's just stop, just chill the fuck out. I keep saying it, and I'm sorry for saying so many F words, but I'm just so over it. And Mark Hamill can say what he wants to say, but he's just one example of many. Just
right. That's
people
the thing.
Are over it. Just get a grip. Get a grip.
Yeah, grip that lightsaber.
Just get a grip.
Are we gonna wrap this up?
Yeah, I never in a million years thought I'd be sitting here when I was a kid, sitting here telling Mark Hamill to get a fucking grip.
Yeah,
I never thought that in a million trillion years.
It's weird because I know Michael Keaton is left wing too, but he's not insufferable, right? He says this bit about Joe Biden, and he's not insufferable,
right? And I don't care how I don't want to know your politics, honestly. I honestly don't want to know what actors think and how they vote. I'm just are you a good person? Are you out there doing good? Are you a good actor? Okay, cool. I don't need to know 24/7.
Yeah, it's sad. I mean, this is how people are probably going to remember him. And like I said, last, 15, 20 years of his life, he's been just complaining about Trump every day.
When I say politically pickled, poster child right there.
He has become the poster child for us. So very, very sad. We're going to wrap it up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views. I got to end on that. Pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.